Hello, everyone. Melinda Schmidt-Connect here with Resonate Marketing. Thank you for joining me today for Work Together Wednesday. My guest is Gabe O'Neill, who is the godfather of digital business cards. If you are not familiar, this is something that you need to know because he was on the cutting edge, I think, maybe in 2018 or 2019 when you started this. Now it's becoming more common, but it's still the way of the future. But he is going to be sharing with us networking, relationship building tips. So, before we get started, let me just say please let me know if you're here. If you have any questions or any comments or encouragement, please share them in the comments box. If you are watching the replay, please put in hashtag replay so that I know that you got some value from watching this after the fact. But, Gabe, I met you somehow, some way through social media quite a few years ago, and we didn't really establish a relationship. But then last year, I don't remember how it happened. I found out about your online networking group and we reconnected. So thank you so much for all the value that you provide. I've greatly enjoyed being part of your networking group. And tell us just your 60-second. What is Digital Accelerant all about?
Well, thank you for the kind words, and yes, it's also I consider myself fortunate to have been connected with you as well, Melinda. Excuse me. So, Digital Accelerant is a company that I founded in 2015 as a software developer. Closer to 2018, 19, kind of shifted over to a digital business card, as I did. In the beginning, I gave them away to expedite getting to know people, but they were so popular that it turned into a business. So that's my primary focus right now is our digital business cards, not just the electronic cards that you get that you'll see that other people have, but this one's more of a sales funnel and a CRM, and it actually is designed to generate business and to find and to see what it looks like. Just simply text the word Gabe to 21,000 to get mine.
Awesome. But you are not new to networking. This has always kind of been your jam for a while, really, is that relationship building. I know you're a member of a BNI chapter and have been for a while. What
Mm-hmm.
other you network at big events? You've had booths and
Right.
conferences. What other kind of networking groups do you belong to?
I network as much as I can because number one, it's fun for me because when I get to meet new people all the time, and sometimes guess what? They buy from me. That's cool. But guess what else? Other times I get to help them in their journey, and sometimes it works both ways. A perfect example is a gentleman who I met on Happy Neighborhood, and he got on my calendar and he said, "Well, I want to just help you out, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect you to people, and if I connect, and then you can say yes or no, but if whatever comes of it becomes a positive thing, then maybe you can give me a digital card someday." But he wasn't really asking for anything in return. It was kind of sort of, but the idea was that I'm just going to give you this stuff, and go from there. So he did. He connected with me with the gentleman, who connected me with another gentleman, and then today we discovered that hey, you know what we're doing, we can. It's really connected in what we're doing. So let's really help each other out, and that's how it works. And so now I'm sponsoring an event coming up in February, and the followers of what I do will hear a lot more about that in the future. But it's about it's a lot more than just trying to get business from somebody. It's about really if you give of yourself and try and extend yourself and connect people and work hard to do that without really thinking about what's going to come back in return, then I think you're gonna find that that's how you really do networking. I met somebody recently who is I think this person thought that networking was something that people set up for her so that she can all the people that are in the audience are her referral partners and will remain that way for life. Networking doesn't work that way. It's not. I mean, you may or may not find the people that you're looking for in that group, but if you are helping them achieve their goals, they will find the right people for you. So that's really more of how it really works.
Right, right. I agree completely. So share with us if somebody's brand new to networking, from your years of experience, what would be the top things you would say, here's what you need to know to get started?
Well, to get started, I would say just be authentic. Um, and that might be an overused statement, but it's really true. You just don't try and be somebody who you're not. But the thing, my biggest pet peeve, and this is to me is the most one of the most important things, is do what you say you're going to do. So if you tell people that, like, when if you're in a one-on-one and that person's trying to sell you something, don't tell them, don't fill them full of stuff thinking, yeah, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna really buy that, this is great, I can't wait to buy it. Well, let me think about it, and then you ghost them for the rest. That's really not the right thing to do.
Right.
And it's not, and again, it's not about buying things necessarily. It's about if somebody sets up a one-on-one with you. Show up. If you agree to show up, you show up. And you show up on time. It's just about because if you get the reputation, because I think really networking is all about your reputation. Because guess what? It can travel. Your reputation travels pretty fast, and that's good if you have a good reputation, but it's pretty bad if you've got a bad one. Because
Right.
there's a lot of people that their reputation precedes them, and I'm very reticent to engage with them because I've already heard about all the stuff that they typically do. So the idea is to make sure that you just be authentic, be yourself, but really just do what you say you're going to do. Follow up on what you say you're going to do, and that's really if you've got that covered, then I think you're off to a good start.
Awesome. And like you said, it's important to go in with an attitude of who can I help? How can I help people first rather than who can I sell something to somebody? Um,
Right.
so I think that those are really, really great tips. Well, let's talk about your online group that I belong to. I know that with the COVID season, a lot of online networking has popped up, but I prefer your group. Your group is almost exclusively the one that I do every week. Talk about your online networking group. What made you start it? How did it get started?
Well, excuse me. Right when COVID happened, which was what March of last year, um, my normal way of doing business would be to go around in the Kennesaw, Marietta, Georgia area, and network with people that way, and spending maybe 2, 3 events a day, 6 or 7 a week, or however many I could do, and if we all remember that was just shut down, like all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, boom, you
Gone.
can't do that at all,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was a little bit unnerving for me, because now I say, okay, now this business I just started, now what am I going to do? But I happened to discover other networking events that were, like the Authentic Networker is a good one. Of course, we all know about Happy Neighborhood, and and finding, but Happy Neighborhood didn't really exist back then, but or at least I didn't know of it then. Or Centricity was another one, and what I discovered was, hey, this is a national networking group that has breakout rooms, and I thought the breakout rooms were genius, a way to be able to get people to connect in a more intimate level because there's 4 or 5 people in the room, and as opposed to the BNI model where 30 people will give their 60 seconds and you're sitting there either waiting your turn or listening to everybody else, however it works out. That can be honestly a mind-numbing experience. But with the breakout rooms, I thought, well, this is genius, and I don't think it's that hard. So I just right at that second, I said, I'm going to do this myself. So I actually I have an email list, and I said, if I get 20 people to say that they'll come to the first meeting, then I'll do it. And I got like 30 people at the first meeting. So from then, I think that was it. Every week, we've been doing them at different times during most of the week. But yeah, and we've grown it a little little bit. But when you say that you like um, our group better, I think it's because we also spend a lot of time making sure that we get quality people at our meetings. Um, some some of the groups go for numbers, or they have so many numbers they just can't. It's too late to cull the ones who are just looking for stuff for themselves out of it. But we have a bunch of rules. I make a joke about them, and people sometimes rib me about the rules that we have. But guess what? Because of those rules, like no, you can't be. We don't allow driving, for example, or your background. You can't be moving around. Your background can't be distracting. Because we have all these silly rules, we've really built quite a solid community of people that really do care about working with each other, and a lot of them are digital card owners too, and they especially are eager to meet other digital card owners and promote them and do whatever. So I'm really having a lot of fun with it actually.
And I love that you make it fun, that you change it up. You have icebreaker questions. So you get to know people on kind of a social level while you're doing business. And that's key to doing business. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? So
Right,
I
right.
love that you facilitate getting to know people and playing different games, changing it up. It's not always the same. That's one of the things I like about it.
Well, and that part of it, I mean, it's just about from the beginning. If and from experience, I remember being in a breakout room once, and this was when we're in the throes of COVID. Like we're not still already, but we're in the throes of COVID, and everybody's kind of looking at their camera like this. And oh no, I don't think I'm not having a good day. And it was like I just said, oh my God, there's four of them. I were like that. I said, oh my God, I got to get out of here. So I'm like looking at the clock. How can I just leave? What the heck is this? So the idea was from that I said, no, we can't have that. If everybody has a high energy, then they're going to connect more. They're going to be excited to connect more.
Hmm.
So the idea was throw something in there to do high energy. We've done in the beginning. We used to do a lot of stuff. We had a comedian come in for a while. We had videos of people dancing, just people trying to get everybody just in a good mood. But I think it's kind of just kind of evolved into a way where it works, where people know that people there's still a lot of newcomers, and it's exciting for them because they've never seen anything like it. So yeah, and again, but the bottom line is it's very fun for me, even though I do put a lot of work into it. And if it's fun for me, that kind of rubs off on other people. I think that come to the meeting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if people are networking in these online groups, whether it's yours, of course, we're biased, that's our favorite. But if it's
Mm-hmm.
Happy Neighborhood or one of the other Centricity or MP Group, what is your advice specifically for online networking? In addition to what you said about being authentic and doing what you say you're going to do, is there anything related to the online aspect that you would advise people?
Well, well, for one, I mean, I would pay attention to your what you look like online. Like for me, I still haven't gotten it perfect because I've got the subject that I have to deal with. But but as far as lighting is concerned, there's a gentleman who he could not see his face because it was all backlit and everything. You don't want to do that. People, you're making an impression when you're online in Zoom,
Right.
and this microphone is one of them. I get a lot of comments about that, about how clear my mic is, and that's it's not. It was only a $50 mic, so it's just something that makes me stand out and just it just exudes quality. My virtual background, you see, it's not flickering, um, because I have a green screen.
Right.
So and as do you, and that's if you're sitting there and half your ear starts falling off, and then your eyes, it looks like your eyes just went away. I mean, that is so distracting, and your virtual background is doing much more harm than good.
Right.
So I would really make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Make sure your background is uncluttered. Um, there was one guy yesterday. I think he was packing for Armageddon. I don't know what was going on in the background of just weird. It was so that kind of stuff. People pay attention to. So if you look at Melinda's got a perfect background. I mean, it's very simple. She always her brand. She always wears her hat, and a very nice shade of blue. So just take after that, and doesn't necessarily have to be a virtual background. But if you're going to have a regular background, just make sure that it's well lit. Make sure your face is well lit. Make sure that people can hear you properly, and again, make sure that there's no clutter in the background. Other than that, again, just try and in any group that you are in, make sure that you don't turn off your camera, especially when you're in a breakout room. Be ready for if you're not ready for that meeting, then don't go to it.
Right.
Don't say, "Oh, I just got back from my workout and I'm all sweaty, so I'm not going to show you." No, nobody's going to refer you out if they can't see you.
Right.
So make sure that you prepare for the meeting, you stay for the meeting, and you do not answer the phone when you're in a breakout room unless it's your family. I mean, I give a pass if my family calls, even if I'm running a meeting, I'll kind of check it, and they call twice. I said, "Oh, I better pick this up." but other than that, your business call can wait.
Right.
They will still take they will still give you money at the end of the call. You don't have to do it right that second.
Yes, yes. I think those are all good tips. And I know I'm guilty of somebody's at their kitchen table and I'm looking at what's on their counters of their kitchen behind them. So you don't have to have a virtual background or a green screen like Gabe and I use. But if you, whatever is in the background, make sure that it's not distracting. I think that's very valid. And lighting is great. And personally, the video camera being your phone down here is one of the most unflattering angles known to man. So if at all possible, if you're going to use your phone, try to have a tripod, so that it's sitting. You can't see my hand on the video, so that you're sitting at eye level. Because that can also be very distracting when you're looking at double chins and nostrils, from down under here. So.
Mm-hmm. And the other one is the poor people have their webcam on the bottom part of their screen of their laptop, and they're typing, and you can see these humongous fingers going crazy on the webcam. Throw that laptop away and just go, or just use a different webcam. Just do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
It's worth the investment of time to have the right equipment, the right lighting, the right setup, because like you said, you're doing business. This is your image, the impression, especially that first impression you're making with people. You want it to be as professional as you can make it, because it's a business development tool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what, guys? Zoom is not going away. You think that the vaccine is here, so okay, eventually we're gonna all be back, and the Zoom's gonna be no. People have discovered that these meetings are much more convenient, much more efficient, and guess what? I can now network across the United States, whereas before I couldn't.
Right.
I'm not giving that up for anything or anybody. So guess what? These Zoom meetings are going to stay. So if you just invest a little bit now, and I think you'll reap the benefits later.
I agree. We should wrap this up, but I want to mention before we leave that your group is not just only the online networking meetings. You also have an educational component where you have some seminars. People come on and talk for an hour. You invited me to come in and talk about LinkedIn, so I appreciate that. But we've got recordings that people can go back and watch these webinars on different topics. And then we also have the engagement pod, which I'm the leader of, where we have a Facebook group, but really the purpose of the Facebook group is a conversation where we on LinkedIn support each other by liking and commenting so that it gets greater reach. And then you also have started something new, the speed networking with Blitzer. Tell us about that.
Right. So the whole thing about, well, let me back up a second and kind of reinforce what you talked about with Digital Accelerant. So Digital Accelerant is my company name, and there are of course, there's a digital card, and if you text Gabe to 21,000, you will be able to get not only access to all my information, but access to my network as well. So that's where you can sign up for all these events that we've been talking about by just hitting the Join My Network button. So the referral accelerant is what I call for the networking. That includes both the Blitzer and the Zoom, and then the knowledge accelerant is the webinars, and the engagement pod is the business accelerant. But again, if you text Gabe to 21,000, get on Join My Network. All of those three items are there now, and so in our next well, our next event is Thursday, the 21st of January at 4 p.m. Depending on when you watch this, you might have passed it. But if you go to that same link, it doesn't matter. It'll always have the most updated schedule of what's going on. So and I do want to stress that it's not just for digital card owners. It's open to all businesses. But we're again looking for serious business owners who are looking to benefit not only themselves but other people. But in answer to your question, Blitzer is another platform. Unlike Zoom, it's much more facilitated to one-on-ones. The host will get anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes in the beginning to speak. Then it goes off, and basically whoever's there is going to get matched together randomly. Well, it's kind of sort of random because you can actually, after you've registered for the event and after you've posted your profile online, you can actually go back and select the people that you want to meet based on their backgrounds. So that's really cool. You can put a green light to them or a red light if you don't want to speak with them. So you basically are setting the stage for who you want to meet. And so you do like maybe 5 to 7 of those, or anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. And then it goes back to the moderator for the end. But those are usually 1 hour sessions. We do those once a month. And so our next one will be the middle of February somewhere. Actually, I think I have it set for February 17th. So yeah, that's something that some people said, oh, I like this a lot, even better than Zoom. But it's a great way to have that first conversation with somebody, and then if it goes really well, then obviously you extend that to another one-on-one.
Set up a follow-up. Yep. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because sometimes the 7 minutes seems like it's too much time and you're awkward and you don't know what to talk about next.
Right.
And then sometimes it's like, that's not nearly enough time. I needed another, 17 minutes. So,
Right. And of course, that depends on the connection, of course.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for all that you are doing to help businesses grow. I think that's why your card has been so successful, is because you started off just wanting to give to people. And I think that type of philosophy gets its rewards. So that is very cool. If you are not familiar with digital cards, you have to check it out. It is so cool. Like Gabe said, you can just text the word Gabe to the number 21,000. That's 3 zeros. 21,000. And you'll get his digital card so you can see what it looks like. But you can also text the word card. Is it card or cards? Cards plural, to 21,000, and you'll see all the variety of other digital business cards. So they're not all the same, and it can be customized. And you can also you provide people with a lanyard with a QR code. So if you are physically networking, people can just pull out their phone, scan your QR code, and get your digital business card. So you've set up the technology very well to be multiple ways, to get that information. And it's so awesome. I mean, the funny thing is, my women's networking lunch just last week, someone was there and didn't have her business cards with her, and was trying to, and one of your digital business card owners was with us. And I pulled out an index card and wrote, text the keyword to 21,000, and handed her a piece of paper so that she could remember it. But you don't really have to do that. I mean, if they can remember, the keyword in 21,000, they can easily find you later on. It's very memorable. So I love that use of technology, and it's really cool. So congratulations on creating such a practical and useful tool for small business people.
Well, thank you so much, Melinda. I appreciate that. And it is that simple. Just getting people to remember it. You get business that way, and having people do it right there, you get business that way. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being my guest today. I appreciate it. And we hope that you will join us for one of our online networking groups. I'll put links in the comments below this post so that you'll have all the information. You can find it easily. And next week on Work Together Wednesday, my guest will be Lee, who I met through your networking group, Gabe. And he's a copywriter, but he's going to be talking about truth in advertising and giving us advice when we are writing our social media posts or our marketing materials. He's going to be giving us some guidelines and things to keep in mind for what works and what's effective. So please join us again next Wednesday at 1:30 for Work Together Wednesday. Thanks, everybody.